Collective is a group of like-minded people from all around the world at different stages of their guitar building journey. You can join us over on our forum to seek advice or share tips on guitar building processes, materials and tools, or just to share your builds. On YouTube, we have a regular podcast of guitar building chat where you can join the live stream or watch back on past episodes. Our Instagram page shares posts of members' builds and links you direct to their accounts. And for those of you on Facebook, we've got a private group that you can join, share and chat along with. The Guitar Builders Collective is a welcome and open space for all, so do pop by and say hi. Great. Hello. Yeah, hello people. If anyone's tuned in expecting for us to talk about CNCs, that's not going to happen. I think after we had Jack from JC Guitars on last year talking about CNC building, I noticed quite a few builders seemed really keen on it and were discussing it, and a few people have bought one. And I almost bought a cheap little one to try out, and I thought, that's stupid. I'm going to save up, and at some point, if I'm able to save, I'm not very good at saving, maybe I'll invest in one.
I was really looking forward to it because I've recently been thinking more and more that one of these days I want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So Dan, who was meant to be on today, he uses CNC and he does a lot of his stuff by hand, and he uses this CNC, he said, basically to do, I think this is right, to do a lot of the heavy work, to get everything shaped and ready, because I guess a lot of people do like that hand making feeling and experience. But anyway, he's not well, so he is going to come back, but we haven't arranged the date yet, but I don't think it's going to be till the middle of March or early March, so that's a shame.
I think that would probably be my approach as well, because I do like, I mean, a lot of the fun is, you know, the handwork, but you know, you get some inspiration watching like Mark Gutierrez do some of his crazy CNC stuff that would be really hard to do by hand. So, you know, use CNC for the heavy lifting, and you know, I'd probably still use by hand, but
I feel slightly intimidated by learning new software, but the more I hear people talk about it, the more I think actually it's going to have overlaps with what I've done with design work before. So maybe I'll get really into it, and it will change what I do.
Yeah. Well, with 3D printing and other stuff, I've wanted to learn how to do some 3D modeling. It is intimidating, but honestly, I've seen some pretty dim people that were really successful with CNC. So at the same time, I'm thinking,
there's hope for us.
How hard could it be?
Yeah, well, I think that about a lot of things. But then you see people that are really good at it, and you think that's how hard it could. Yeah. How not how hard it could be, but how you can use it to make something incredible.
Yeah.
Oh sure. Yeah, Mick's just said, look, building guitars is a great way to get off the computer for him. So I totally understand why you might want to avoid things like that. So today we thought, when we found out Dan wasn't well, we thought we would use this as an opportunity to talk a bit more about the Jurgs Cup. Now, before we go in depth into Jurgs Cup, I think I'll do a quick overview, but then we should talk about how it came about, Scott. And I know in the chat there's Corey, and I think Corey might have been from Soul Good Guitars, might have been the person that drove it all originally. So when I first heard about it, it was all through him promoting it and talking about it. But essentially, the idea is to have a community thing that brings everyone together with guitar building and having a way of sharing. So although it's described as a competition, it was always set up that the first year, which started last April, runs to the end of this April, would be a competition, but there'd be no winner, because the winner would be Jürgen Zoller of Zoller Guitars, who the competition's named after, who sadly passed away early last year. And I think that's a great way to honour him, and a great way to step into doing something without having that pressure of having to find out a way of voting. Because we all know from Great Guitar Build Off how complicated that was and all the problems it caused. And for me, I noticed so many people in comments saying they're not in it for the prizes. They're not in it to win things. They're in it to share and have their work seen and build up friendships.
Yep.
So the aim of the competition, and I've got a video I can show you later, and I'm going to ask everyone here to help in some way, and I'll let you know how you can be involved. The idea really is to just create a space where you can share and feedback to each other. So the competition, originally, the idea was to have the hashtag #IamJurg, which is what Jurg used on his post, and that was his Instagram handle. But I've noticed people using the Jurgs Cup as a tag, and that makes more sense because that's what it's called. So whatever, if you follow on social media, Jurgs Cup, hashtag Jurgs Cup, hashtag #IamJurg, you're going to see builds as people are putting things up. So Instagram's already got quite a few posts, not finished guitars, works in progress. Sometimes it's just bits of wooden things, and there are some already on YouTube. Our Facebook page, we'll cover this later, has got people putting things up as well. So by following the hashtag, you can not even have to build anything to sort of be part of the competition, because you can see other people's builds and you can engage with them, which is how I first met Logan, through conversations that he was having, not just on my posts, but on other people's posts. And that was one of the great things about the Great Guitar Build-Off. I thought the way it brought people together to not just have a comment on a post, but have a conversation on a post.
Yeah.
And I think you said, Scott, that even before the Great Guitar Build-Off, he was commenting and posting on your posts.
I don't remember exactly when it started, but I know he was one of the early people that had somehow found me, and I didn't back then think about the possibility that I actually had regulars or somebody that was actually following. I figured somebody just stumbled across you once in a while, with very few views on my stuff. But we got to talking sometime, and there are a handful of people that point out to me every time, I've been watching since the beginning, and Jurg was one of them. So he had been around watching my stuff for a long time, long before Great Guitar Build-Off popped up, which I thought was pretty amazing. And I mean, he always stuck out in my mind because so many people, found us and started watching during Great Guitar Build-Off, to know that he had been there watching before Great Guitar Build-Off even existed. It really stuck out in my mind. I didn't remember any specific comment or anything, but I know, he had commented on stuff in the past.
Well, I'll be honest, until we started doing this live stream, although I knew people through their tags from commenting, I didn't know people as well as since we had people on and visually seen someone, actually had a conversation with someone. Yep. And there's a few people, I've never actually directly spoken to Corey, but I've had loads of messages with him. So it feels like the community is building. And as Corey's said before, one of the great things about Jurgen was he was a positive person. And that's what we've said is great about the guitar online community. And that's one of the reasons to have this competition, to feedback positivity, give each other advice if you get stuck, help each other. So Corey's just put in the comments that we always had plans to do a build-off kind of thing, but we didn't do it because we didn't want to step on the Great Guitar Build-Off. But when Jurgs passed away, it seemed it had to be in his memory, Jurgen's memory. So obviously the Great Guitar Build-Off is carrying on in some form, but we don't know what that is at the moment. So it seems to make sense to focus a bit on this. Yeah. And the Great Guitar Build-Off, as you said, did bring a lot of people together. And when Corey's saying we had this idea to do some sort of build-off competition, by we, he means the Guitar Builders Collective, which I only really found out about, I think it was middle of last year. No, it might have been 2 years ago, when Chris from Franklin Guitars, who set up the forum, which is an online forum, links to everything in the description of this video. He set that up as a way for people that were part of the Great Guitar Build Off to keep talking beyond just the build off.
Yeah. Well, it was the first year or two, the Great Guitar Build Off, that it wasn't, you know, an entire year long thing. So, you know, once Great Guitar Build Off was over, I think the second one, you know, we were thinking, well, what are we going to do now? We gotta do something, you know. So we had talked about it. Initially, you just talked about a little thing, you know, with us, just a challenge, not a competition, but just a challenge, you know, like use what you got or something to that effect, and that's why that was the decided theme for this first Jurgs Cup.
Yeah, so there is a theme this year, but as Corey and everyone keeps saying, don't worry about the theme. The theme's there to drive you if you're stuck for an idea.
Yeah,
Use what you've got also is a great way to not feel precious about having to invest in a big kit or lots of high-end materials and things.
Yeah.
But if you've got...
I would say don't worry about anything.
Yeah, it's not about that, is it?
If you're going to be doing a build, why not, you know, throw on the hashtag and just be a part of Jurgs Cup.
100%. And if you've already started your build and you've got one, put the hashtag on as well, because it's just about growing that community.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I remember most about him, okay, so first Great Guitar Build Off, I was, toward the end of it, I was blown away by how many people said that they had, you know, been inspired to start building or, you know, something because of us that were in the competition. And Jurg was one of them. And I mean, his first build was, I think, for the Great Guitar Build Off. It was crazy to think that you could be inspiration for somebody to actually start a build. So the fact that he had watched for years before GGBO came along and then got into it, you know, was inspired by us goofballs to do something was pretty crazy. And then once he got in the, you know, Guitar Builders Collective and started talking, and he was a really humble guy, because I remember at least more than once him saying that he didn't necessarily feel like he belonged in the, you know, a group with all of us, and you know, it's like, dude, just, yeah, you're awesome.
But that's definitely the thing about the Guitar Builders Collective, is there isn't like a hierarchy of professionals who we all look up to. It's a great mix of people. And I just want to mention this. We spoke about him quickly off air, Scott. There's Mr. E, who has a video that he's put up on YouTube, which is on the YouTube Jurgs Cup playlist, which we'll talk about a bit later. And in that, he said that he'd been watching people and sort of been inspired to join the Guitar Builders Collective, and that's what drove him to make guitars, and he wanted to enter the competition to sort of take that further in some ways. I keep calling it a competition. I'm not sure if that's the right word for it, but we'll stick with it for now, I think.
Yeah. Finding the right word might be a little difficult.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I really enjoy doing things like we're doing now, Scott, and the other things that I end up doing that are to do with the community, that don't in any way directly lead, like the people that are watching this aren't my clients who are going to buy a guitar from me.
Right.
So I'm not doing it to drive traffic to my business, but I enjoy doing it because I sit on my own in my workshop all the time and don't see anyone. And it's great to interact with people. It's great to get inspiration from people. It's great to sometimes think you can help someone as well. So yeah, I'm not in it for the competition, but what I'd really like to do at the end of this competition is Corey's already got a Guitar Builders Collective email address set up. So we're just going to ask people at the end of it, this year anyway, to send one image in to the email, which has got either their finished guitar or work in progress or just anything really with a short description. And we can put that up on Instagram and on Facebook, and every image will be tagged with the person's account. So essentially, if you're following the Guitar Builders Collective Instagram, you'll see all of these posts at the end of the year to see one thing from everybody, and you'll be able to comment on it, have a discussion, and go and follow them. So it's just another, maybe a way of building a community. And who knows what will happen next year. But I feel very certain from what has happened with the Great Guitar Build-Off that the idea of a collective of people, like the Guitar Builders Collective, who aren't in a paid business running a full-on competition is never going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. In my mind, I've toyed with the idea of, putting together some kind of website that would be what I thought Great Guitar Build-Off, the Great Guitar Build-Off website was kind of supposed to be, from my early description or my conceptualization, what I just expected it to be. Just so you could have some hub, some specific place where you could actually just see everything, But a hashtag on Instagram would definitely do the trick. For seeing the finals.
I guess it's quite easy as a programmer to design a website that pulls in the hashtags and puts the images up.
Mm-hmm.
I know, for example, with the website I've got, which is through Squarespace, not sponsoring this, there was a time when they sponsored everything, that I can just put a box on my screen and somehow that draws in whatever I want. So it will draw in my Instagram feed, for example, or it can draw in a hashtag and pull it onto the page. So so that would be good.
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't really matter, because if you yourself are just following those tags, you're going to see people and interact with them. And if, like we said, we've got the Facebook group and we've got the Instagram page, which you can go to if you want to see more. Corey's done a great job of, in the past, sharing builders who are part of the Guitar Builders Collective on the Instagram page. So if you follow that page, you just get to see loads of really cool builds. And what I was thinking we could do as a community is somehow help Corey out so he's not doing it all himself, and every now and then one of us could take over the account for a weekend and show some of our builds or something. I hope everyone's getting from this that the whole point of this is it's a collective of people trying to do something together, and we're not sure how it's going to work yet.
Yep. It's a continuation of so many people have expressed the sentiment that the best thing from Great Guitar Build-Off was the community, and this is the community.
So Corey's put a good point up that I'll read what he said. The Jurgs Cup, originally we thought about some prizes, but we weren't making any money from it. Any shirt sales get donated directly to Leukaemia Foundation. So again, in this video description, there's a link to a page which Corey set up with some shirts that Mick from Mick's Guitars helped him design, like this one with Zola guitars on it. And I'm sure some of you will know, if you make shirts like this where they're printed on demand, there's not a massive profit margin for each shirt, but that money goes to, well, a Leukaemia Foundation. I think the idea is that because Corey's hosting that page, it's probably easy for him to give it to an Australian-based Leukaemia Foundation. On our live stream here, when we first started out, a few people gave us some super thanks, and I gave that money to a UK-based leukemia charity because that was just easier for me to donate direct to them. And you don't have to buy a t-shirt to take part in the competition, but obviously buying a t-shirt means that more people wearing it, the more people say, oh, who are Zola guitars, and think more about the competition. And you could, if you wanted, just give a donation to a charity. Again, it's not essential. I appreciate not everyone is in a financial situation to do that, which is why that use what you've got idea is quite a good way to experiment.
Yep. There's no sign-up fees. There's no. All you got to do is use the hashtag, so we know you exist. That's it.
I think we should get a new Guitar Builders Collective shirt that says "Beard Check" on it.
I'm undecided at the moment. I just look homeless.
Beards
Mm.
we could. I since I've had kids, I can't be bothered to shave, so I have the beard. That's it,
I,
basically.
I hate shaving, and now I'm getting older. I had a beard for like a year or two, and every time I shave it, I immediately regret it.
I feel like if we had a bingo card for people watching along, discussion on beards, talking about how guitarists don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Top up there.
Yeah. Got some reoccurring themes for sure.
Yeah, I like it. So look, let me just quickly share my screen so I can show people a few things. I think this is going to work. Oh, no, I can only share one tab at a time. Okay, so this is the playlist on the Guitar Builders Collective YouTube channel. Again, it's linked below, where at the moment Corey is adding things to it as people make videos. And you can see 9 months ago is when a few people started off. So we've got Chris from King Bespoke Creations. I think he's actually finished his build. Neil's there. Neil's in the chat at the moment from NSJ Guitars. Neil, is your one? Is your one finished? You can let us know. I have a feeling it's going to be a bit like the Great Guitar Build Off, where Neil's finished it and sold it. Fantastic! Congratulations, Neil. I feel like it's going to be lots of people just start putting things up towards the end, the deadline, which is April 23rd. But again, don't worry about the deadline. It's just about sharing what you're doing, really. And it doesn't matter what you do with the guitar afterwards. It's great, Neil has sold it. So that whole idea of it not being a competition, etc. I recently had 2 people that I was speaking to who were interested in the competition. One of whom is someone I already collaborate with, making videos for them, and one of them is someone who is interested in potentially me making videos for them, talking about having prizes to give away. And I really don't want to do that at the moment because I feel like it's just gonna a slippery slope down to being problematic to manage. But I'm going to have a chat with them to see if there's another way that we can get some support involved to help publicize it a bit. Just to help build the community, because they're guitar building related companies. So if they could do something, if they can do something that is like sending out newsletter about it, that would be brilliant. Maybe even just offering people discount codes that are taking place. So you can see there's quite a lot of videos as we go down. Dave, who's going to be on in March, has he finished as well? 10 videos up.
I honestly couldn't tell you. Dave is the one that I have been watching, but just when Dave puts out a video, I got to watch it. I should know whether or not he's finished. I don't remember seeing. Ooh.
Corey's there, Bart's there, Curtis from Goth Rider Creations, all people who are regulars in our live chat. Again, I think there might be some people here for the first time that haven't seen the stream before. Normally we've got a guest on or a focus topic, but like I said, when Dan was ill today, we had to suddenly do this. And unfortunately, I can't do. Let's see. I need to end my screen share to share again. Let's see if I can just share my window.
I should know if Dave's done.
Oh, here we go. I can do it like this. So the hashtag I am Jurgs on Instagram's got 174 posts up. A great way to go and find people. And the Jurgs Cup's got 341. I think this is the way forward. If if you just follow the tag on your social media, then you can see people's builds and start interacting with them. And it would be great to see that build up.
Yep, that was one of the primary ways I kept up with the playlist for GGBO.
Corey, you should have a competition for people to guess how many pieces are in your neck. I have a vague memory of him saying it was 500 odd, but that seems excessive.
Yeah, I think that was right.
And then on Facebook, there's the Guitar Builders Collective Facebook group, which has been a great place to share things. And as Corey said, the membership's really rocketed over the last few weeks. And what's brilliant about it is there's a lot of people posting guitars they're building who I've never heard of before. And they've just sort of found the group and want to share, which is brilliant. So trying to get the word out to them as well. Yep. So look, if you're watching this and you want to help, one way to help is to spread the word by mentioning it. If you're making videos, you could just quickly drop in at the end of a video that the reason you're doing the hashtag Jurgs Cup is because of this competition. You can even leave in your video description a link to the forum page, which has got more description on it. I've also just put up a video which I'll play at the end of this cast, which is about the Jurgs Cup, which people can easily share. It's just 2 minutes long. Easily share that. I'm going to do some 1 minute versions of that as well, so people can put them up as shorts. And if anyone wants to, I can make them available so anyone else can either just grab them and share them on your own pages, or feel free to take them, do your own voiceover.
Man, that's a pretty guitar.
Oh, that's the video. Maybe I'll just play it now so we can have a look. I'll put a link to this in the video description and in the chat. And what would be great is if anyone's in the chat now, maybe you could go over and like it and hit share so you can share it with your community tab, for example, or somewhere on Facebook or some others. Is the sound coming through?
Huh.
Did the sound come through then?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. It's that thing where it won't let me play the sound. All right, I'm going to stop sharing and share again. So professional.
I just opened Instagram and here's Ty putting together, unboxing and putting together his CNC machine.
Yeah. Here we go.
Are you looking for an excuse to build a guitar? Or do you just want to be part of the community and see other people's builds? Why not take part in the Jurgs Cup? It's a community build-along where anyone can take part by simply sharing your builds either as photos or videos on social media and using the hashtag Jurgs Cup. The build-along is named after Jürgen Zoller of Zoller Guitars, a valued member of the Guitar Builders Collective who regularly commented on other people's builds, giving them encouragement and ideas and helping to start conversations. The whole point of this build-along is not a competition, but to grow the community, to make online friends, to share ideas and inspire others. By following the hashtag Jurgs Cup, you can see other builds and engage in conversations in the comments section. You can add your content and get feedback from others. This year's competition ends on the 23rd of April, with next year's one starting the day after. At the end of April, we at the Guitar Builders Collective will be asking you to send us some photos of your guitar, even if it's not finished. And then over on our Instagram page, we will be sharing the submissions from everybody, giving everybody a chance to see your work, to go follow your social media pages, and to engage in conversation with you, as we hope you will with them. Perhaps you've already started a build and you want to share what you've done with others. Well, just start using that hashtag now. Jürgen was a friendly and supportive guy, and to help commemorate him, this competition will be friendly and supportive too. If you want to, you can buy a Zoller Guitars t-shirt, the proceeds of which go to leukemia charities, or even make a small donation yourself. Wearing the t-shirts will help spread the word of the competition too. But you can do that by sharing this post and others on your social media, in your forums, and with anyone you know that might be interested. Everyone is welcome, and if you're stuck for inspiration, this year we have an optional theme, use what you've got. You can find out more via the Guitar Builders Collective forum, the Instagram page, or our Facebook group.
Awesome.
There we go.
There's some cool stuff on Instagram.
Sorry, I missed that, Scott.
There's some pretty cool stuff on Instagram for the Jurgs Cup.
I love watching pictures of people's builds. All those photos in that video just there were from Jurgen's Instagram. Corey chat with Jurg's wife, and she said it was fine to do some sharing.
Awesome.
Hey, look, because we haven't got a theme or topic, maybe we'll keep this one short today. But what would be good is to know if anyone here has got particular things that they in the live chat, or you can let me know in the comments below. Any particular things you would like to hear us talk about, or guests you think we should have on, or people that should come back to hear more about. We've got it sort of lined up for the next few weeks. So next week we've got Nick from Petrek Guitars, who's been a luthier for I think he said 30 odd years. I find his Instagram and YouTube feed just brilliant, full of tips of things. Then we've got someone called Willis Howard, who I met online. He runs a luthier forum on Facebook, but also it's a meetup group. Everyone gets together and does actual sharing of skills. And then we've got Kent from Tunguska Guitars. Then hopefully we'll have Dan back at some point. We've got Dave, is it Dixon or Dickinson?
Dickens.
Oh, that's terrible. I should know someone's name who I'm inviting along, who hopefully isn't watching this. And also we've got Jackson from Big Unit Guitars. I haven't put their two up yet. I haven't scheduled them, but we've got a date for those. Oh, look, people are excited to see Dave's. It's interesting, isn't it, that we've got this community, but there's still groups in it, because I'd heard people mention Dave before, but I hadn't really watched any of his videos before the other day. Great thing to watch. Great thing to find out new people.
I'm thinking he was one of the original GGBO people. I think he was the first year.
I must have seen some of his videos then. One of my biggest memories of lockdown was sitting at home watching guitar building videos.
See, apparently it was a much bigger thing to a lot of people here. It wasn't really lockdown. You know, most people just tried to spend less time out and, you know, tried to stay secluded, but it wasn't really lockdown like a lot of places really were. So I didn't realize at the time until, you know, people had talked about how much they really were, you know, secluded and didn't have a choice. And Great Guitar Build-Off really did give them, you know, some fun stuff to watch that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was one of the things that came out of first Great Guitar Build-Off for me that I didn't expect to hear. You know, people saying that they were happy or appreciative that, you know, we gave them some stuff to watch, and that, you know, some of us the competition inspired them.
Amazing. Yeah, it was
yeah, that's the coolest thing you can hear from anybody ever.
Yeah, it was you know, an unfortunate event, but nice timing that it could all fit together like that and create that community and something to keep people busy or occupied, even if it's just occupied watching YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Well, look, I'll just say it once again, if anyone's watching, we rambled on quite a lot today, but it'd be brilliant if you can share the idea of the Jurgs Cup with other people, mention it in forums or whatever. There's that little clip I just put up. That's mentioned in the description to this video. There's a link on the forum that's mentioned in this video. There's links to the Instagram pages and the Facebook pages, again in the description to this video. There's loads of places you can direct people to get answer questions or find out more. And yeah, it's not really run particularly by anyone in particular. Corey's, for me, the main person that's driving everything, because he's been so proactive with the Instagram and the Facebook section.
Yeah.
Ooh. Short and sweet.
Yeah. Fair.
Right. Well, I'm not feeling so great, so I'm going to go potentially back to my sofa. I've been watching 1970s Doctor Who's. They're pretty awful, but they're quite good for switching your brain off to.
Sounds fun.
Right. Enjoy your day at work.
Oh yeah.
Oh! I've got one more thing I meant to tell everyone. I've just put a link in the chat. But tomorrow, bit of self-promotion, the next Luthier's lunch break is up. It's a bit different to others in that there's a few different people that were there before, that haven't been there before. But it'd be brilliant to see some of you in the live chat, which is basically the same time as this tomorrow. There it is.
Yeah.
And again, if anyone is watching this is interested in making short clips or short videos or has things you've already got that you want to put into this little compilation, do let me know. It's about half-hour long compilation of people talking about guitar building, and at the end of each episode I'm putting in a little compilation from the live streams. So in tomorrow's episode there's a few different people talking about the process of building necks. Just a little theme to put it together.
I have meant to do something, I just haven't had an opportunity.
I'm very much hoping it'll be a long ongoing thing, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's an awesome idea.
Oh, thank you.
And well, getting little clips from different people, you don't get the opportunity to, zone off and get bored. It just keeps you engaged. It's a cool format and a good idea.
I stole the idea as everyone does, stealing ideas from. I used to be quite into board gaming, and there was a board game channel that had like a weekly thing where people just talk about their favorite board games and why they liked it. So you'd have a run of different people talking for 2 minutes about it. But sometimes people do very tangential things. Like there was a guy who used to make board game paraphernalia, like use the boxes to make things that would hang on the wall or little things you can roll your dice in. And I always thought that was quite cool, having that range of things. And there was someone that would talk about the community aspect of why they play guitars with their family and friends.
Yeah.
Very
interesting.
Great. All right. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, everyone in the live stream chat. And thank you, everyone that's going to leave a comment and share.
Yep.
Yep. See ya.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Are you looking for an excuse to build a guitar? Or do you just want to be part of the community and see other people's builds? Why not take part in the Jurgs Cup? It's a community build-along where anyone can take part by simply sharing your builds either as photos or videos on social media and using the hashtag Jurgs Cup. The build-along is named after Jürgen Zoller of Zoller Guitars, a valued member of the Guitar Builders Collective who regularly commented on other people's builds, giving them encouragement and ideas and helping to start conversations. The whole point of this build-along is not a competition, but to grow the community, to make online friends, to share ideas and inspire others. By following the hashtag Jurgs Cup, you can see other builds and engage in conversations in the comments section. You can add your content and get feedback from others. This year's competition ends on the 23rd of April, with next year's one starting the day after. At the end of April, we at the Guitar Builders Collective will be asking you to send us some photos of your guitar. even if it's not finished. And then over on our Instagram page, we will be sharing the submissions from everybody, giving everybody a chance to see your work, to go follow your social media pages, and to engage in conversation with you, as we hope you will with them. Perhaps you've already started a build and you want to share what you've done with others. Well, just start using that hashtag now. Jurgen was a friendly and supportive guy, and to help commemorate him, this competition will be friendly and supportive too. If you want to, you can buy a Zoller Guitars t-shirt, the proceeds of which go to leukemia charities, or even make a small donation yourself. Wearing the t-shirts will help spread the word of the competition too. But you can do that by sharing this post and others on your social media, in your forums, and with anyone you know that might be interested. Everyone is welcome, and if you're stuck for inspiration, this year we have an optional theme, Use What You've Got. You can find out more via the Guitar Builders Collective forum, the Instagram page, or our Facebook group.